Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to the Armory. Welcome to Full Time Sports Network. Welcome to James. James just jumped in whilst I was doing the intros. So how are you, James?
Good. I feel refreshed. Apologies for the delay. My alarm didn't go off, and I decided I like sleep too much. So better slightly later than never, I guess. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. There is no paper talk today. I've looked for all the papers and all the paper gossip, but there's not enough for me to go on and say, yeah, that's probably true. There's too much rubbish in there, if I'm honest. We only did it Wednesday. I think I did it anyway, so it's quite recent. But I will do it hopefully on the next show. But today's absolutely not worth it. Now, I was going to skip the first story because James wasn't here, but we are going to go into it now. Declan Rice. The situation needs to be explained because people are losing their minds on Twitter at the moment. Now, are negotiations happening between Declan Rice and us? No, they're not. Declan's not that type of person. His dad is dealing with it. West Ham and Arsenal are dealing with it. Declan has nothing to do with it right now because Declan, funny enough, has a game next week. And he's concentrating on that. So people need to calm down. As soon as that final is over, probably within 2 days, a bid will go in. That bid will be sufficient enough for West Ham to go, yes. But what I will also say, it wouldn't surprise me. Now, I don't know this was 100% sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's a player involved going the other way. That for me, will hold it up just that little bit more due to the fact that a player, whoever's going to West Ham, that West Ham want, it will take a little bit to negotiate his deal as well. But people just need to chill on the Rice situation. Just chill. James, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, completely calm, man. I'm very good. I after the initial meltdown on Twitter from, 5-6 days ago from these Bayern links that have been around. I'm just gonna call. I don't want to. No, I'm gonna call it. It's complete BS at the moment. There's nothing in the stories. There's nothing in any movement with Rice before the Conference League final. Nothing is gonna happen before then. And as you said, this story about Tuchel speaking to Rice, he didn't speak to Rice. He spoke to his agent.
Yeah.
So it's mainly a journalist called Plettyberg, I'm pretty sure, on Twitter that's pushing the narrative that Bayern really, really are going to go for, how do you call it, Rice. But then he's quoting like 85 million euros. And I'm like, well, considering Arsenal are going to bid probably 90 plus million pounds and your max is 85 million euros, There's a discrepancy there. And it's if you're I'm paying very close attention to the stories that are coming out, and I'm paying very close attention to the wording some journalists give to specific stories. And Fabrizio Romano is a very reliable journalist. Some people like him, some people don't. But in terms of reliability, he's normally very, very good. And I've not seen him use in the terms of Arsenal will insist on a player in a transfer before. He has done this with us for Declan Rice. So put two and two together. You've got what's the account? The team news and fixtures or whatever his name is, the guy that gives the lineups before the games. He gives them there's an account that's really good that gives information on lineups before they happen, about 5 minutes before they're actually released. He's been pretty much spot on with the news. He said the Ramsdale contract was done. It was signed the next day. He said Reece Nelson didn't look like he's going to sign, but now he's signed or is about to. Next day, Arsenal have agreed a 4-year deal. And he said verbally, this was agreed a little while ago with West Ham and Declan Rice. And he said the bid is from 92 to 95 million pounds. So I'm guessing that matches what you've heard. Yeah. But he didn't say anything about a player being involved, which will be, as we get down the line. But yeah, there's no worries for me. I'm personally not worried about an Englishman going to somewhere abroad, especially when the options are the elite of the elite in this country looking at him. So yeah, I'm very zen at the moment. So just as I said, woken up from a nap and the Bayern news isn't stressing me out. I'm at peace right now, so I'm good.
Right, we'll talk a bit more about him in a minute. We just want to get into the comments because the comments are building up. Big up to Tamina. Declan Rice to Arsenal is coming to Arsenal. Let's hope. Look, I'm never 100% sure. I'm never going to sit on camera and go, yeah, 100% sure he's coming. Look, things can happen. Loads of things can happen in the transfer market. However, I am pretty confident about this one. As for the next one, we will get into this one because that one's slightly different than what Declan is. And also, I would like to say that Declan's agent is his dad. So it is a very trusted agent. Declan's going to trust anything that his dad is working on. So let's just wait. Tony's got a name for us, James. Jim Bob. Of course. Nice. That last bit of music sounded like Song 41. Yeah, it's a new thing I've just worked on. You know me, I like working on intros. We'll get into him as well. I know you're going to compare him to Lacazette. Big up to TikTok, Lacazette. He's 20. Lacazette is, 32? Is he? 32 now?
Something like that.
Big up to Bargav. So the Rice gave Arsenal his word back in January. Now, this is where people get really confused. Chats can happen, right? And we have been negotiating for a while. This is not just a recent thing. We've been negotiating with West Ham for a while. And it's more of a case of like chess, where you're setting up your team ready to face your opposition. That's what it's a bit like. So there's so many negotiations that happen. And this is a massive transfer. Massive. It's not like it's a £20 million transfer. That could be done in like 24 hours. This is a huge transfer. So everything has got to be in place. So the chat has started a while back. So, look, let's just chill. I'll be fair to Declan. He wanted to concentrate on, one, securing West Ham from not getting relegated. He's done that. Now, the job is to win them the trophy. Who are they playing again?
Fiorentina.
There you go. So, yeah, Declan's a very nice guy. And that he should be. He's a professional sportsman. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about certain things not being said and things are being said. Oh, there is a show, wasn't there? No worries. People putting out that we bid 90 million and Rice choosing us, but I think we're respecting wishes smartly and wait until next week for official bid. Look, us and West Ham and us and Declan's agent can all agree a lot of stuff. But Jim, I'm calling him Jim now. Declan is a nice guy. He's only concentrating on West Ham right now, and rightly so. Is that Jim? Oh, jeez. Bay 90-foot beard, but Royce wants London. London is red. Look, were Bayern interested? Very likely, but Bayern have got their own issues. Hence why the 3 players are up for sale. They've got their own problems at the moment, so I'm not too worried about them financially. Why is the Caicedo link so strong like Jesus last year? We'll get into that one, I promise. Chelsea fans saying Caicedo they got. Look, we'll get into that, I promise. If Bobby says he like Wahi, I'm going to lose it as... This is not my news, Moss. This is just stuff that I've heard and I'm passing it out there. Did we miss out on Mason Mount? No. Simple as that. No, we didn't. James, do you think we missed out on Mason Mount?
No, not for the rumoured price. Let's be real. I felt like I was one of the only few that in the armory that liked him. I don't know. Whenever I suggested Mason Mount, it was uproar. It's like, no, don't bring him in. He plays for the enemy. But no, look, I was really interested and I was really high on getting Mason Mount at about 50 million quid. That doesn't seem like it's going to be happening. And if you're wanting 80 million quid for Mason Mount, just go pay 8 million mid for another midfield target that has been mentioned in this chat 100 times already, but we'll get into it in a second. But yeah,
exactly. Look, guys, there's going to be many links with many players. Do we want an attacking type midfielder? Yes, we do. But we'll get into that. There's many things happening this season, this transfer window. Let's just be chill. Right, we're going to quickly talk about Frida Maanum has signed her new contract. So the 23-year-old Norwegian will be staying with Arsenal next season, which is big up to me personally. I love her. Without her, obviously we had the issue of Miedemeier. Maanum stepped up and cracking, absolutely cracking to see her staying there. Happy chaps. Richard, Garlic, Edu, and Jonas, they're all smiley. Maanum has signed a deal. So yeah, happy days. I know James doesn't know enough about the women's football, so I won't ask his opinion. So that's absolutely fine. We will talk a little bit about Saliba contract situation because the little purple are losing their mind once again on Twitter. James, what's your opinion on the situation that you know of?
Yeah, I'm not stressing. It just seems like there's a small, not disagreement, but we're a little bit away in terms of the financial package that we're seeking. But we've been talking with William, what seems like for a few months now. So yeah, everyone's like, oh my God, William Saliba wants a contract that's befitting of one of the best centre backs in the world. Okay, he is one of the best centre backs in the world. It will get done. I'm not stressing. I believe this was out of the 3 that we're going to sign in terms of Martinelli, Saka, and Saliba, which we know are the key figures for us going forward. 2 of them are signed, and we always knew Saliba was going to be the most tricky. However, it's one of those things where there's nothing we can do as fans, so there's no point in stressing about it. And again, this summer transfer window, the only person I'm stressing about is Declan Rice, and I'm completely calm about him right now. So if I'm calm about him, you guys should be calm about William Saliba. So yeah.
As for this, oh my God, you mean 120,000 a week isn't enough? It's because he knows how important he is, and PSG are interested. So if I was Arsenal, I'd offer him around the Martinelli kind of salary right now. Which is about 180. So, look, it's not our money. I need him to stay. We can sign him for a 4 or 5 year deal. Then we don't need to worry about it for a while. Look, Saliba loves playing at Arsenal. He loves the club, loves the fans, loves playing for Arteta now, which is a big difference from how it was at the beginning. So, yeah, I'm totally chill. I've been chilled about this one for a while, and I'm not changing my mind about it. So yeah. Right now, James, Have you heard of the Montpellier striker Wahi?
I mean, I've seen him a few times because I've watched League In, but he's not someone high on my radar, and not someone I'm paying close attention to. So I don't know if that tells you anything, but that's yeah.
Well, we are in pole position, supposedly, to sign him. He's 20 years old. He is being touted as the new Thierry Henry. I have got some stats for you. He's played 90 games for Montpellier in his career, which is quite a lot considering he's only 20. He's got 30 goals, 9 assists. This season, he's played 32, scored 17. He's about 5'10". He's plays fairly similar to Jesus, but his ball control isn't the greatest. Which is, there's a few negatives on this guy, but he is only 20, so there's time for him to learn. But look, I've said that I'm sure that Arsenal are looking at a new type of forward. I don't think this is the one. If I'm honest, this is not a new type of forward. This is very similar to Jesus and Eddie, if I'm honest. And look, we'll get into the Eddie chat in a minute, but I'm not convinced on him. I'm not going to say that. I know Moss is on about David in the chat, but I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced by Jonathan David. I'm not convinced by Hawaii. I don't know even how you say his name, but that's the best I can pronounce it. But James is not excited about it. If James is not excited, then I'm definitely not going to be excited either. So.
Yeah, I don't understand the logic behind it. He's not different, in my opinion. He's not different to our options, and we have 4 options at striker in Jesus, Eddie, Balogun, and Trossard. And for me, what's the point on spending 35 million euros on him to then sell Balogun for 35 million euros? I don't understand the logic behind it. The report is weird because it's from Sami Mukba, I'm pretty sure, and he's really reliable. So I don't know about this one. There's quite a few reports that are going around about linking us to like 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds that I was expecting. This wasn't one of them. But then again, I'm here to be proven wrong. But if it was me, I would rather just save the money and keep Balogun.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, because the price wouldn't be cheap for Wahi at all. It'd be like 40 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that I'm interested in at all. Not paying 40 million for him. I'd rather look at a different striker in Italy for 40 or 45 million, because there's another one over there that I prefer, but not him. Not for me. Look, if any signing that comes to Arsenal, if it is him, then I will always support, but I don't think it's going to be him. It doesn't make sense because I know Arsenal are looking for a different type of forward, not similar to Jesus, which is why we will be talking about someone maybe leaving. So we'll talk about that very shortly. But there is definitely news that Tierney is leaving this summer. Aston Villa and Newcastle are the prospective destinations for him. Which one do you reckon would suit him better?
Oh, he should go to Newcastle without a doubt. He shouldn't entertain Aston Villa. I'm not buying this whole Aston Villa are going to be incredible next season. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't believe it. I don't think they have the foundations to be competing in Europe and competing in the league and other competitions. And if it was me, there's only one team out of those 2 that I'm joining based off of where they are and where they're going, and that's Newcastle. So if it was me as a fan of Arsenal, I'd like to sell him to Aston Villa. Just not out of spite, but you don't like selling to and strengthening a rival. So if Villa put in the most money, sell him to Villa. But if it was me and I was Tierney, I wouldn't be even entertaining Villa. I'd just be going to Newcastle.
Fair enough. Tamina, big up to you. Any striker we've been linked with, please. Wahi is one. Sanabria was another one that I was talking about last week. He's 27 from Torino. That is the more type of striker that I think is the right type. Like he plays very similar to Giroud, which is the type of player that I would happily have. So, look, it's very, very early. To be honest, the transfer window hasn't even officially opened yet. So, and we're already having so much chatter about it already. There will be loads because Arteta wants all the players in for a full pre-season. They know that they made a mistake last season with not getting some players in quick enough. So they want to be even more proactive this summer. So look, there's going to be a lot of signings very quick, I would have thought as well. Any centre backs we have been linked with, Satalu, Gay, they're two that I can think of at the top of my head. James, can you think of any others that we may mention?
Tapsoba, who I want.
Oh yeah, Tapsoba. Yeah. Well, we need to worry. Look, we will definitely be linked with more centre backs in the future, I'm sure. The papers in the past few days has been very quiet, so it's one of those at the moment. Is this guy better than Lacazette? I'm thinking he's talking about Wahi. Not for me. I'll be honest. I'm not the greatest fan of him. I like a player that can actually have ball control. If they've got zero ball control, I'm not interested because that is the basics of football for me. Right backs, we are going to go into that in a short moment. Fresneda is one that I'm not going to talk about today, but he has also been linked with us. James, can you think of any others other than the Galatasaray watch one, which we will talk about in a minute?
Simakan from Leipzig.
Oh yeah,
we were linked with Livramento last summer before he did his ACL.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we were linked with him again, considering Southampton had gone down. And we were also linked with Kyle Walker-Peters as well last summer.
Yeah, true. So they could those links could crop up again. Any left back? No. I don't think that's even the position.
I don't think we'll sign a left back. I think we already have it in house through Youth Academy and through Kivio. So
yes, correct. That's what I believe as well. I think it's a right back, centre back this summer. So yeah, they're the ones I think leave on stats. JD, any right winger? I did Michael Elise the other day. That was a fairly good link. Other than that, Rafinha was one that was talked about. Diaby. Can't think of any others. We do so many. We do so many. I just can't think of every single one. We will have to do a big proper catch up of all the right backs, right wingers we've been linked with at some point, because we have been linked with loads, and it will just get bigger at some point. Any left midfielders? Now, I
was going to say, if we keep going through all the targets, we're going to run out of time.
Yeah, exactly. It's madness. People were not convinced about Odegaard and Saliba. Well, the Odegaard news is he will be signing a new contract this summer, so guys, don't worry about him leaving. Step up a little Eddie for true clinical finish at best. Nope. He's doing it again. Wait, hang on. What's this? 1 p.m. UK. Oh, okay. He's doing yes to Eddie. Nketiah leaving, please. Oh, Cole, you have to come in, don't you? He's going down the road to Spurs where he came. How many years on KT's contract? Off the top of my head, I can't think.
3.
2. Is it 2 or is it 3 years?
3. Yeah.
So I'll have to look it up.
He signed a 5-year 2 years ago.
Okay, thank you, mate. Party is also leaving too. Well, there's possibility. There is a big possibility of him leaving. For Newcastle, say 70 million for KT. We'll get over 30, but other than that, I don't think so. Hoyland, I like him. Moani, I like him too, but no rumours as of yet. Look, it will happen soon, maybe. Arsenal will go down out of the way to sell KT to Newcastle, even if Villa have offered more money. We're a bit of a soft touch. No, not for me. Do you think that?
I think Luke's basing this off of how we're handling the situation with Granit Xhaka. I think the difference between KT and Granit Xhaka is Granit Xhaka has been here for 7 to 8 years. KT hasn't. KT's been here a while, for 3 years, I think. It's 2020.
Yeah.
Maybe just before 2019. How long has KT been here, actually? He's been here for a while. He was signed in Emery's last transfer window.
Yeah.
Sorry, year. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think there's a sentimentality between Arsenal and KT. They're saying there is for Granit Xhaka and Arsenal. So, if... I think we're kind of like how City are. If a player doesn't want to be here, we'll sell them. And we'll try and get them their destination they want to go to. But if it's not the right fee, then we're not going to sell them to that club. So, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying here, Bowie, Fresneda, Simakan, Livramento, Alistair Johnson. I'd definitely like him. I need James to actually see if he's going to be able to do the inverted role for us on the right, to be honest. Bobby's Guerrero. Yes, Rafael Guerrero is available on a free, but he's a left back. And to be honest, a few years ago, I would have been interested in him, not anymore. Essentially, always, but he's going to PSG. Yes, 100% he probably will be. Attacking midfielder, he's more likely to going to Man City, if I'm honest. So I want those 15, no more parties. So Nketiah for 50 million. Look, if we get 50 million, I'll be well chuffed. Would you be happy if we get 50 million for Nketiah?
Yeah, but we're not even going to get close to 50 million.
Yeah, it's just never going to happen. Right, let's move on to the next story now. The Granit situation, will he leave or will he stay? I do believe he is leaving. I do believe he's being respectful right now. I think it's because someone else has come in for him. I do believe that's what the problem is. He's been offered I think a 5-year deal at Leverkusen with the option of being a coach at Leverkusen. So he's got like basically a 6-year plan there at Leverkusen. We're not offering anything like that. So he's definitely, for me, 100% leaving. James, you 100% sure he's leaving?
Yeah, seems like it. I'm not, I'm pretty confident this one happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Cole, I'm definitely not reading that comment you were on about earlier because you're just trying to wind me up. That's why I know you, United fan. He's trying to wind me up about Declan Rice. Right, let's move on to the next one quickly. Arsenal could consider letting Nketiah leave. Now, this is a possibility. Now, a lot of people love Eddie, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with loving a player. For me, it doesn't fit our system. He's not good enough for what we're aiming for. I'm not saying he's a bad player because he is a good player. He's just not our level for me. And if we could get 40, probably 40 million, 35, 40 million for Eddie, and we can bring in a different type of striker, I would be happy with that. What about you on Eddie, James?
Yeah, I want to. I don't know. I want to get rid of him, and I want to get rid of Bellingham. If we have to keep one, I'm getting rid of Eddie still, even though he's proven it in the Prem, because I want to see how Bellingham does. But yeah, I'm not against it. I just feel like we need a different type of player. Eddie has come on leaps and bounds from where he was 2 years ago. I just don't think he's good enough to take us where we want to be. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Big up to Brenny. Evening, gents, and to all in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Brenny. Tamina would like 45 million for Eddie. I think that's around the right kind of price, to be honest. If Balogun is going to go for about 40 to 50, Eddie's got to be around the same, really. We should take Tammy as a backup. He's obviously on about Tammy Abraham. What about you, James?
Yeah, I would. It just depends on the price. If you're talking the buyback, around the buyback clause that Chelsea have of 8 million euros, no way. But if you're talking 50 million quid, then yeah, I think he's a very good player.
Yeah. She meant it in Eddie place. Now, obviously, Tamina is in the same category as me. Wishful thinking.
Yeah, I would love do a swap deal with Napoli. It's fine. I'm sure they'll accept.
Yeah, look, I know I did my fantasy transfer window a few weeks ago, and yes, I managed to get Oshman in. But look, unfortunately, I can't see us doing it. I'd love it if we did, and I honestly, it would be amazing if we did, but we'd have to sell quite a lot, and some of those players just aren't leaving now. ESR is one of them. We could have got money for ESR, so ESR is off the sell package. Obviously, we've still got Tavares, still got Balogun to sell, KT to sell, Holding to sell. I'm trying to think of any others. Patino, Lakonga. Lakonga will be a loan to obligation to buy. So trying to think of any of it. Xhaka. The other one that I'm waiting to hear about, and it won't shock me if I start hearing it, is Fabio Vieira. I'll be honest. What about you, James?
No, not considering him going anywhere. He's the one player in midfield, along with Erdegaard, that I'd consider untouchable.
I'm with you. You know I am, but I just wouldn't surprise me.
Nah, I don't think it's worth it. He will get a lot more playing time next season. I'm telling you, and I've been calling for a while. The season that we've played, and because I said this, right? I said you remember it 2 or 3 months ago when I brought up that Partey isn't what Arteta wants as a 6, and I said he either needs to move higher up the pitch, go to right back, or be moved on. And everyone was calling for my head, saying you can't sell Partey. He's been our best player. He's world class. He's one of the best in his position. And we want to play more attacking football. I know, shock. Can we play more attacking football than we already have this season? Yes, we can. It just requires us to have a different style of CDM.
Yeah, exactly.
Hence Declan Rice. And Declan Rice for me is the best defensive CDM in the world, and there's not anyone that comes close to his defensive capabilities. You have someone like that who can single-handedly hold down a midfield. You saw what he did to ours against Xhaka, Partey, Odegaard at West Ham. You've seen it against the top teams. You've seen what he can do for England. That gives us a platform to literally attack with 6 players. Fabio Vieira is one of the most creative players in the Premier League. He is. Statistically, he is. Numbers-wise, he hasn't, but because he hasn't played enough.
Yeah.
And you'll see it. He's a similar player to KDB and Bruno Fernandes. He just is.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even be considering selling him. He's just, for me, he's got an incredibly high ceiling. He just needs to be in the right environment to get the most out of his skill set. And I think if we sell Rice, you'll see it. You'll see how good he does. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I know, Mosh, you've asked me about Fabio Vieira. I love Fabio Vieira. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if there was a link with him at some point this summer.
Yeah.
Look, it just wouldn't surprise. I'm not saying I want to sell him. You know, I'm not. Funny enough, I'm not the owner of Arsenal Football Club, so it's not my decision. So you know, Luke's saying Fabio is untouchable. That's quite the statement. Look, this is James. James loves making amazing statements.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, what I love about James is 100% passionate about his statements. So you know, and that's why I love talking to James, because he is adamant about certain things, and that's absolutely fine. Barkath is not keen on Eddie. I can see that. Problem is, if Eddie was to leave, which clubs would pay him what he is on now? Now his official contract is like £76,000. So I think it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people hear the 100,000 and think, "Oh, 100,000." No, it's 76. It's very much similar to Saka, where Eddie has to achieve certain things to get the full 100. Trust me, he's not getting that at the moment. He's getting the basics. I think people would pay the money for Eddie.
Yeah,
I think personally, Crystal Palace.
A lot of people would. A lot of people would. Crystal Palace. How do you call it? Nottingham Forest. Brentford. Now that Tony's gone. People act like 77 to 100 grand is a lot of money. In the Premier League, is not a lot of money. Jesse Lingard at Nottingham Forest was on like £125,000 a week, which is crazy, right? So you know there is a lot of clubs in England that would take a risk on him. I would have said Brighton, but Brighton already have their strikers pretty much sorted now. I'd say there's about 5 or 6 clubs in the league, especially those that are getting promoted.
Yeah, and this is the thing: if João Pedro is worth 30 million, Eddie's definitely worth more than that, because João Pedro hasn't done it Premier League standard. He hasn't really shined in Championship, if I'm honest, because I watch a lot of Championship. He hasn't shined. Eddie, there is definitely something about him. He just doesn't suit our system. You can just see it. Would Brentford give 100,000 wages? Yeah, I bet. If I looked up their wage bill now, I guarantee they're paying someone close to that now. Eddie could do a job for lots of Premier League teams. He's just not elite centre forward, 100%. I wonder why we haven't gone for Caicedo. I believe he is a better player than Rice. Tamina has asked Caicedo to Arsenal. I think we better get onto that chat now because he is one of the slaves. Right. Arsenal to sign Moses Caicedo for 75 million. Question mark. Look, we are one of the main clubs interested in. Chelsea are interested in him as well. Do I think we are the favourites? Probably, if I'm honest. Caicedo does want to play in the Champions League. That is his one of the reason he wants to leave Brighton is to play in the Champions League. So for him to then drop out of they qualify for Europa League, haven't they, Brighton? So
yeah.
So that he wouldn't want to drop out of a Europa League team to not play in Europa League. It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. Look, Caicedo, will there be a bid coming? Yes, there will be from Arsenal. Whether or not we get it done, I don't know. No one knows, really. Look, there's going to be a lot of clubs interested in him because Caicedo, for me, has been exceptional this season. And I think James likes him a little bit as well.
Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, look, he's one of the two players that we need in order to play the system that I think Arteta wants to play next season. The premise on this window, I've said it in the group chat, but I'll say it on stream so it is on record. So we can come back and we'll be like, oh my god, what? He was correct. Yeah, we know. This window is all about versatility. Let's be real. We have a big squad at the moment, but the difference between our starting 12, 13 players to our starting 20 is nowhere near the level it needs to be. We need to trim down the squad massively and improve the quality over it, which is why 5 to 6 players, as we've discussed, is it's definitely possible. I'd say 5 is where I see our max, but maybe if we get 6 with a free signing, then fair enough. But look, I don't want to keep comparing us to City, but if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best. And how does City do it? They have a team of around 17 or 18 players, not all stacked in midfield, because let's be real, the number of midfielders they have is what? Rodri, Phillips, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva. That's 5, right?
Yeah.
So in terms of total midfielders, it's not a lot considering Bernardo plays on the right wing as well. So they have a thin squad, but they have a squad of high quality players that can play multiple roles. And what we've got within this team at the moment, we've got high quality players, 13 of them, but not a lot of them can play a lot of roles. And why I'm interested in both Rice and Caicedo is Declan Rice can play 3 positions to an elite level. He can play holding midfielder, he can play central midfielder, and he can play centre-back as an elite level. Nobody has really seen him playing as an elite centre-back, but when I tell you he can drop in and play as an elite centre-back, trust me, he's been playing centre-back for about 16 or 17 years before he moved into CDM, so he knows how to play the role. As we've now seen with Caicedo has predominantly played as a CDM, played as an 8 for Ecuador, but is now playing as a right-back for Brighton. That's 4 positions to an elite level with 2 midfielders that are both under the age of 25. Look at the other links we've got. I know we'll continue to talk, but Simakan, Diaby, Gehi, Tapsoba, these are all versatile players, and that will be the premise of this window, signing high-quality players to raise our standards, but can cover multiple positions. Yeah,
totally agree. Tony's not that keen on Caicedo. He'd rather have Lavia. Lavia will be leaving this summer. To who? I don't know yet. But look, there will be more links as we go along and we actually get into the window. Big up to Tamina. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I take Rice, Caicedo, Lavia, Madison, SMS. Wow, that's one heck of a midfield there, Tamina. Caicedo would only go to Chelsea for a massive wage. Yeah, but the fact that he actually wants Champions League football, which is why you'd leave Brighton, because if not, he's just going to leave. So you know, Moss on about some players he's been noticing in the under-20s. Fresneda play either side. He's 6 foot tall as well, which is I like it because he's actually tall. So he's got the height, which I quite like. But look, that has calmed down a little bit at the moment. The reason why it's calmed down is because the main link is with this guy, Sacha Boey, the French guy from Galatasaray. Look, his agents were in London. He has spoken to, I think it's 2 Premier League clubs. None of those Premier League clubs have been mentioned who they actually are, but Arsenal are one of the ones supposedly. Look, I'm not that keen on him, if I'm honest. I have to be honest. It's the only way I can be. He's very rash, and as Tony says in our WhatsApp group, last season we didn't get a single red card, which is fantastic for an Arsenal fan. It's very unheard of. I just don't want someone that is hot-headed, and if you're hot-headed in the Turkish league, wow, you're going to struggle in the Premier League. I'll be honest. With the type of wingers you're going to be up against, he worries me. James, how much do you know about this guy?
Not a lot. He's not someone I paid too much attention to because it's a league that I'm not really familiar with. I don't pay attention to the Turkish league, if I'm being honest, because there's not many players that come out of it that I'm like amazing. Only player I know that we have been linked with recently, but it's tentative links and it's not very concrete, is Gula. Arda Gula, who I really like the look of. So there's been murmurs of us being in for him, but he's the only player I've really extensively watched. But then again, maybe I should watch some more of Turkish football, considering Kim Min-jae came from Fenerbahce as well, and he looks like an incredible player. So I don't know. It's this is the thing I'm playing with at the moment is I don't know the long-term position of Tomiyasu and where he fits into the back line. So for me, to being able to think squad building wise, what we need in the profile we need, where does Tomiyasu sit long term? And I was thinking left back, but now I don't like the idea of him as left back, and I prefer Kiwior. So I'm happy with Tomiyasu playing left centre back like he does for Japan. Then that gives us more freedom of the type of player we want. So we've been linked with a right centre back / right back hybrid, someone that can play both. But I'm leaning away from that, and I'm more looking towards a specialised right back, and then someone who can play right centre back and left centre back. So, for example, Tapsoba is right-footed but plays left centre back. Someone of that mould that can cover both centre back positions instead of the fullback, because I feel like we have enough cover in Ben White, Kiwior, and Tomiyasu for the fullback position. So. We'll see. I'll look into him more if the links intensify, but we'll see.
Tamina wants both. She's having a very greedy summer, I have to be honest. Simakan and Shaboe both. Wow. Look, we are going to sign players. We're going to sign mainly first teamers as well. Not ones that are going to come straight in and we're going to drop someone. It's more like what me and Brenny have been saying for donkeys. We need like an actual first team quality, more than 11 players to choose from. So when I actually do my lineup previews, people actually change their players now and then. It's amazing because what we've been doing for most of the previews have been changing 1 or 2 players, but I want a proper squad that you can go okay, he needs a break, let's bring him in. Absolutely no dropping quality whatsoever. Like if we had Michael Elise and Saka to choose from on the right, I'll be well delighted with that. Would you like Elise as if he was competing with Saka?
I'd like Elise because I've seen him quite a few times because he plays for Reading. And I live, for those of you that don't know, don't stalk me, but I live close to Reading. So I've been to Madejski a few times when he was there and seen him, and he's a very, very gifted footballer. And I knew that he was going to move as soon as I saw that release clause of £6 million. I knew he was going to be snapped up by a Premier League team, and it was Crystal Palace. So I definitely welcome him. Plus, I feel like it's about time we bring some more French people into the the Arsenal team, it seems like we're missing a bit from the legacy Wenger left, and we're now left with one true great French player in Saliba. So I wouldn't be mad if we brought in a few more. So.
I can't believe you said that. Right, Moss's Pizzas are talking about here. Starting some stills, maybe JWP. Look, JWP will definitely be staying in the Premier League next season, guarantee it. Lavia, Che Adams, he's also put there. Big Paul, 6'7". That's different, ain't it? Big Paul. Who's Big Paul? 6'7".
6'7".
At Southampton.
There's a centre back. I'm pretty sure he's referring to.
Oh, is he? Cinnamana, he's there. Yeah, he won't be staying at Southampton. Nonto, that's another one that will be leaving Leeds. Would you take Nonto? Would you take a punt on him?
Yeah, again, I'm so lost in the direction of our squad building, and I mean this in a way that
Yeah.
our backline and our backline midfield and like attacking options profile wise is so all over the place at the moment. We could go any which direction, and I don't know where the F we're going to go. It depends if Reece signs. If Reece signs, then I don't see us signing him. But if Reece doesn't extend, then yeah, I'd sign Nonto in a heartbeat. Having Martinelli and Saka off the left, yeah, it'd be very good.
Yeah. Big up to Barbados MUFC. Good morning. Declan Rice will be at Man United next season. Scott McTominay and 60 million swap being talked about. Look, Man United can offer what they want, but the fact is Declan wants to stay in London. There's a reason why he wants to stay in London. I know what Man United are trying to do, and I know what the fans are trying to do with the possible signing of Mason Mount. But Declan wants to stay in London, and there's only one club that actually exists in London at the moment, and that's Arsenal. So, look, we'll wait and see, but I'm pretty sure we'll be getting Declan. Not 100% sure on Caicedo. Okay. He's on about, yes, they got that from, they get him from the Belgian league on Watcher.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I know who Moss is on about now. I just can't think of his name. There you go. That's his name. Well done, for Toba. That's the guy. Here's
me thinking he's a centre back.
Yeah. We need more players than Chelsea at the moment. Look, Chelsea are going to spend more money than people assume they will be because they had such a big January. This is Chelsea. Look, Chelsea will be selling a lot, but they'll be signing a lot as well. Ugarte is one that I'm actually kind of gutted we don't even look out for. Would you take Ugarte? Because I like him. I think he's my type of midfielder, to be honest.
He's not someone I've watched extensively. He looked good in the second leg of when we played them at the Emirates because obviously he wasn't available for the first leg. I don't know, he's not someone that's been on my radar. Maybe I'll look into him more, or we'll get to see him firsthand when he joins Chelsea. But yeah,
it was one of my 5 to watch when we did the Sporting Lisbon game. Ugarte really excites me. He's a dirty little midfielder that I like. As everyone knows, I call Martinelli a dirty winger. He's my dirty midfielder that I love. He's just filthy. No nonsense. I like a bit of no nonsense. Bargev saying Neymar, Kane, Declan would be insane at Man United. Look, Harry Kane. I do feel sorry for him a little bit. He won't be allowed to join Man United. I guarantee it. They'll say stay and just see out your contract then, because there's no way they'll sell him to Man United. I'll be honest. How James not no Big Paul. Dirty is what Mourinho did. No, we're not going into that. James, obviously the window doesn't open until the 14th of June, which is 12 days away. How are you feeling right now?
Good. Yeah, I don't have any other reason not to. I feel like this is going to be an historic window for us. I've said it before. I think it's going to be our highest spending window, and when I say highest spending window, I'm not talking minimally. So I think our highest spending window was 2 years ago when we signed 5 players, Ben White, Ramsdale, that window. I think it was 150 million. I think we're gonna blow our transfer window out the water by about 80 million quid minimum. For me, I expect with our total outgoings and recouping, you're talking like a 200 million pound window. But actually, how much physical money we're going to spend, I think it's going to be close to 300 million quid.
Yeah.
So I'm really infused. What I also like at the moment is there's not really any concrete rumours that are coming out of Arsenal. There's spits and spats of we only know the one, which is pretty obvious considering it's like Jesus last summer. We were prompted early in January through Charles Watts, and then it snowballed into he's the main target, and we got Jesus. Declan Rice is the same. It's released early Jan. We're really heavily in for Declan Rice. We have been, and we still, I think we'll get it over the line. And then who knows? It's nice because there's not really with every other club. There's literally, okay, they're really interested in this, and there's concrete rumors. Whereas with us, there was Xavi Simons rumors today. I'm not too sure on those. I like him as a player. I just don't see how he fits in our team yet. So yeah, it's a nice change, and I'm really, even though I like the transfer window, I'm zen. I'm cool with it. Ask me in a week when we don't sign Declan Rice and Caicedo goes to Chelsea, then I'll be having a meltdown. But as of the recording on the 2nd of June, I'm in a very good place.
So I've literally wrote down the 2nd of June. James is feeling good, and we're gonna check in with him every time.
Weekly mental health check with James. That's what we should change the show name to.
My anxiety is low because Declan Rice promised Arteta. Look, there are gentlemen agreements, and it does happen in football. Now, I am 100% sure that certain conversations have taken place. I'm not going to say it on stream, but I'm certain things have actually had concrete conversations. Let's see what happens. When's the final? Is it Wednesday?
It's the 6th, I believe. Is it the 6th?
Yes. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday.
The 7th. When is? Let me Google it.
Is that Wednesday? I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday because the other one was last Wednesday, so I'm guessing the other one's.
No, you're right. It's the 7th. So
yeah. So I expect to hear news by at least Friday at the latest. Give him 24 hours to celebrate. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, I kind of expect to hear some news by Friday, more on Declan. Got to Barbados and UFC. I know you and Tony have some kind of history, you two. If it were up to me, I'm spending 170 million for Kimmich and Gravenberch. Bayern Munich are in shambles now. Yeah, they've put up for sale for Mane, Sane, and Gnabry. And I expect links to be with Gnabry at some point. I guarantee it. I guarantee there'll be links with Gnabry very, very soon. Arsenal going to America. Jeez. I thought that was an actual question there. What player from the top 6 do you think is coming? What player from the top 6 do you think is coming? As in the top 6 clubs?
What, we're signing someone from a toxic club? I don't see us signing anyone from a toxic club.
No, I don't.
I'd be surprised if we did.
There's Brighton are a top 6 club now because Tottenham dropped to 8th. So I suppose technically we could say Caicedo. Because I'm honest, if it's top 6, they're the top 6 that finished last season in top 6. Now Tottenham can join the top 8.
So can Chelsea. They can join the top relegation.
Yeah, exactly. So the bottom of the table lot. Love Kimmich and look, Kimmich. I can't see Kimmich leaving. Gravenberch. I think he's pretty much said he's staying now, isn't he, Gravenberch? Final is tomorrow. Is it?
He's on about the FA Cup. Yeah, Barbados is only on about Man United. We're on about Conference League.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm doing the Scottish Cup tomorrow. What top 6? The top 6 for me is who finished in the top 6 last summer. I hate the transfer window. Twitter is an unbearable place. 100%. I don't like it myself. We sign one player every year from Man U, Chelsea, or Man City. Do we? Every season? Did we do that? I suppose kind of with maybe Chelsea a bit, I suppose. Yeah. I love transfer window and never on Twitter, but that's probably why. Where's Gunnar Queen? I don't know where Gunnar King is, but I'm sure he'll be joining us at some point during the summer. FA Cup final and meant Big Six. Oh, I don't even agree with the Big Six term either, to be honest, because to be a Big Six club, you actually win trophies, and certain one of those don't win trophies. So I don't bother talking about it. I'm seeing Alexis Sanchez links. Stop it. They're going to happen, mate. The reason they're going to happen is because I think Tudor has just left Marseille as well, as far as I remember. I'm pretty sure Tudor has just left Marseille. And Alexis Sanchez is on a free. Is that right?
I'm not sure, but yeah, you were right. The manager of Marseille has left.
Yeah. So there's going to be links. Look, I would never want to see him back at Arsenal, if I'm honest. Would you?
Yeah, I'd love to see him back at Arsenal, but he won't. He's not good enough, but I'd love to see him back at Arsenal. He's not good enough. He isn't. But for me, the fondest memories of a player that I have from Arsenal in the Emirates era is Sanchez. I hate how he left, and I will never forgive him how he left.
That's why I wouldn't want him back. Yeah.
My favorite player of the Emirates era is Sanchez, because he's the best player, in my opinion, to ever play at the Emirates era. And when I say that, I mean that in a loose term of on replay for a year at the Emirates. I'm not including that. I'm talking,
Okay, fair enough.
But,
I'll agree with he was a good player for Arsenal. Yes, it's the way he left. That's why I could never see him back at Arsenal.
Barbados doesn't like it either. He doesn't like Sanchez after that move, and he was.
What a shame! I'm so sorry that's bringing up bad. Yeah. Look, it's PTSD for all of us on this one. Okay, none of us look good out of this. We got Mkhitaryan and you got Sanchez. None of us came out of that well at all whatsoever. Look, let's just move on. Great attitude. Oh no, Moss, we can't. Just no. You're saying he's got a great attitude. Did you see how he left us? That's not a great attitude for me. Thomas Rosicky was my favourite, if only there was no injuries. Yeah, I think we talked about that last time we did a stream tone about Thomas Rosicky. Did you see much of him, James Rosicky?
Thomas Rosicky. My fondest memory of him was that goal against the enemies. Yeah. What a screamer that was. I don't remember a girl being there. Not on the pitch, anyway. Jesus Christ. You can tell I'm fucking tired, can't you? It's almost as bad as my twinter.
This is like James needs a nap.
Again, even though I've just had one. Yeah, it makes
sense. But guys, we will be doing this at least twice a week. Obviously, the reason I wanted to do this was mainly just to sort out the Declan Rice situation, because there's not going to be any concrete news until after the Europa Conference final anyway. No concrete. There'll be a lot of chatter. That will be happening a lot because it's Twitter. But look, let's just chill. We've got 12 days until the window officially opens. I guarantee when I join you next week for the next Arsenal transfer news, there'll be loads more links and craziness, and this person's now leaving to go to that club. Look, we've got a lot of outgoings to go as well, and there's not enough talk about that for me. There needs to be a little bit more, if I'm honest, because we need the outgoings to happen as well. Big up to Okidi Johnson, superfan, Mang Badongo. Absolutely no idea. I enjoyed trying to say it though. So if I've said something crazy in a different language, then great. But I do like saying Mang Badongo. That's pretty cool. I don't think I'd get that on the back of my shirt though. It cost me an absolute fortune. Junio with Rice Krispie beard. I think it will be more like the Friday, if I'm honest. I think if Declan is the type of man that I expect him to be, he'd enjoy the time with West Ham for 24 hours, then get into some proper deep chat on the Friday, if I'm honest. Where is the Morata links coming? Hopefully never. What about Ruben Neves? Right, I'll be honest. I've spoken to some Wolves people about this. Now, what I've heard, and this is unfortunately quite true, that Barcelona have bid £26 million and they're going to get him for 26 million quid. But if Liverpool come in, they have to bid 50 million. Makes sense, people, because I can't make sense of it. Honestly, I find it crazy. I would love Neves, but he's definitely leaving Wolves this summer. Patongo maybe means Patino. Don't think so. But look, I love saying it. It was fun to say. I also see Arsenal. Now is it me and you that had this conversation? Was it me and Brenny? I think it might be me and Brenny.
I'm not sure.
I'm
not mad at it.
No, I'm not. And that's crazy with me saying it. I'm not mad on this one.
I don't think it's weird because on fire Lukaku is a very, very, very good striker.
Yes.
Depends on how consistent he's going to be.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's in the nicest way possible. But if you ask him to control the ball, it's going to go outside of the Emirates Stadium. But if you ask him to make runs in behind and you ask him to finish, when he's on good form, he can do it. If you ask him to finish when he's not on good form, again, it's probably going to land in the Spurs Stadium. But there's a lot of things to like about Lukaku. Just depends on the price and what Arteta could do with him. But I think he's going to go to Inter.
You reckon? Yeah. I'll sort that out. Okay. I've seen your look, Moss. When you try to do it in the challenge, it's because he's not at Chelsea. It was the Arsenal. Was it the Arsenal Chelsea challenge? And you tried to put the Lukaku in. I say injured or suspended. I don't say out on loan for the whole season. He's literally.
There's been some new talks, by the way, a new report from apparently a Turkish media outlet that is reliable. Again, don't quote me on this, but it's meant to be reliable from Arsenal aggregators, and it said Arsenal are determined to seal a deal for Sasha Bowie and have already tabled an offer of 20 million euros. Galatasaray want 25 million euros, and the clubs are negotiating. Arsenal want to close the deal before any other clubs get into the race. So, I guess we'll have to keep an eye on that one.
You're gonna have to do some research as well, because what I've seen of him, I'm not that keen, if I'm honest.
Well, I mean, he's the only French player in the under-21s that has been called into the team outside of the top 5 leagues. So, I mean, I don't know how many players there are in France that are French that are playing outside of the top 5 leagues. But I mean, if he's getting called up for that, there must be some potential there.
Maybe. Ivan Toney will still be available for January. Think about it. Kind of. Bobby, will Chelsea have to buy it out or low transfer fee? Look, Chelsea, I know Loftus-Cheek is close to joining AC Milan. Kovacic is close to joining City. Look, Chelsea are going to have a lot of outgoings, a lot. And we need to just wait and see. We'll just wait and see. Owned by Chelsea, that was the deal. What French Manu Kone? He's the guy that's been linked with Liverpool.
Yeah, he plays Gladbach.
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah.
Well, the Farkas just been sacked there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So that might cause a little bit of an issue. Also, Arsenal made a new centre back. Look, that's a lot of if, buts, and maybes.
But we need a new centre back regardless of if William Saliba signs.
Yeah, exactly. Because we do need another centre back, and if Saliba doesn't sign and he says he wants to leave, then that's 2 centre backs we'll be looking for. Look, we'll worry about that when it comes, and a right winger to rotate Risaka. 100%, I agree. Big up to Barbados MUFC. But guys, that's enough for today. I will be back maybe with James next week. We'll see when I'm available, when he's available. James, really appreciate it. Where can people find you, mate?
You can find me on Twitter. No, I'm kidding. You can find me on Twitter at James Armory TV. That's where you can find me. And then you can find me on future shows here. And please subscribe if you aren't already. We are close to 1,000. I think we're 14 away, 13 away. So we're so close to 1,000. So if you aren't subscribed, please do. Or if you enjoy our content and think one of your friends will, please recommend the channel, because it's a goal we're trying to hit before the start of the transfer window really opens in June 14th. So yeah.
Thank you, James. I will be back tomorrow to do the Scottish Cup final between Celtic and Inverness. And then on Sunday, I will be joined by Moss and Satvic, people that have done the previews with me, for the first of a few shows that we're calling the Armory TV Awards. There are 8 different awards that will be chosen by the 2 guests that come onto the show. So Moss and Satfit will be doing it on Sunday. There will be another 2 or 3 shows over the course of the week as well for their own opinions on the awards. So guys, join me for that. For now, we're definitely out of here. Take care, everyone. See you very soon. Bye-bye.